Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm Steven back for another session. Previously, we were talking about mindset change, and here the key message was how the way we think influences whatever happens in our lives, manifestations, basically from performance to behaviors. Everything originates from the mind. You can't do anything when you've not thought about it. So today we are looking at these programs which we were talking about previously. The more you think about something, it becomes a program. And when we talk about a program in the mind, it influences our thoughts and the way we think. And the way we think influences our behaviors, and how behaviors influences the way we live. So today, I'm going to talk about the programs. How does a thought become a program, and how does the program influences the way you live and the way you do things? For example, basically, I'm going to give relevant examples to related to the school teens. And for example, you're in a school, and when you wake up in the morning, you think the first thought maybe is not academic. You think about maybe, excuse me, you think about maybe you're indulging into a relationship with a fellow schoolmate, and the first thought you're having in the morning is not academic, you're thinking about a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And the more you think about the boyfriend and the girlfriend, or a girlfriend, becomes a program, because where you put your thought, often you're putting their energy, and that thing has to produce results at the end of the day. If what you think about, for example, you think about this boyfriend or girlfriend 12 hours, every hour you're giving like half of an hour, you think about that person is going to become a program, is going to become a program in your mind. And whatever becomes a program, the emotions attached to it, and you constantly, the mind gets used to think about that person, so it becomes a program. Or if you're practicing some drug abuse, for example, you're taking marijuana at school or taking alcohol, the more you take this drug or think about taking the drug, it becomes a program. The mind gets used to it, to thinking about it. So the more you continuously think about that habit, it becomes a program in the brain. And that the more times throughout the day you think about the thing or practicing it, it becomes a program and becomes part of you. Likewise, if maybe you're putting more attention on revising, on doing revisions, concentrating in class, thinking about how best you can perform, that those thoughts become a program in your body. That every time you're thinking about revising, doing something that can improve on your performance, they become programs in your mind. So that time comes that it's no longer the thought, no longer the mind in control of it. It becomes the program of the body. That the body has emotions that it wires constantly, that you no longer need to think about it. The body just becomes used to it, and when it's the program of the body, you're no longer out of control of that thought. Now, you when it becomes a program, the body, you stop being in control of it. There's what we call the subconscious mind, and so the body becomes the subconscious, that you no longer possess the thoughts to control it. You just do it automatically. For to the grade of second grade, is what we call the autonomic nervous system, where things happen without your control. For example, sneezing, no, like coffee, like for example, we call it that cough reflex. Okwasimula, it becomes part. It is out. It's a part of the autonomic nervous system that you. It is not in. It's out of your control, like blinking the eyes. It is some autonomic nervous system, an action which you don't control of. The body is used to it, so that no longer you don't need to command the body to blink. So once you overdo an activity, time comes when you're no longer in control of it. The body controls it, it becomes automatic. So now we have solutions. We need to change these programs, reprogram the mind so that we stop the body from doing these actions that are automatically because of the programs you put in. Whatever you give attention, you constantly think about it, becomes a program. That's why people become addicts, because now they are no longer it's no longer free will. It is now a program. The body, it automatically, the body demands it does it without their control. So we need to control these things by programming the way we think. Now, previously we talked about how to examine whatever we think about that doesn't become a program. So we need to examine our thoughts. We need to recharge. We are going to, in the next session, we may talk about the law of attraction. There are laws that govern this earth, and this, whether you know them or you don't know them, they act. For example, the law of gravity. Once you climb a tree and you don't catch yourself, you'll fall down, whether you know it or you don't know it. Whether you went to school or you don't know, you didn't go to school. Likewise, we are going to go through this law of attraction, and we get a deep explanation of how our thoughts are manifesting in our lives, and how the more we think about these thoughts, they become programs in the body, and they influence our behaviors, they influence our thoughts, and our thoughts influence the behaviors, and our behaviors influence the way we live, and the way we live will influence what manifests in our lives. Because whatever, even good performance originates from the mind. You can't perform better when you are 90% of your day you're putting attention, you're putting your energy on things that don't add up on you, that don't add anything on your performance. So whatever activity you're doing every morning throughout the day, they are going to become a program in the mind. Remember, when you're answering an examination, you're answering it out of the programs in your mind. So if throughout the day, if throughout the time you have been programming your mind, feeding their information that is not relevant to the passing of your exams. So at the end, when you reach an exam, you have a chance of failing, because what you have been programming, you've been feeding. Many of the students, at least you've been introduced to computer, and you always writing something in a computer to store. So what you're storing in the mind is like you're feeding something in the computer. If you have 12 hours a day, what are you feeding? What are you feeding in your computer, in your memory, so that at the end of the term you have to produce it on the paper? So we have sessions where we are going to understand the law of attraction and how best can you feed in your mind good things. How can you control? How can you reprogram these emotions that you're having in the body, that you're constantly programming the mind, so that at the end of the day, your programs are consciously selected, so that whatever you're feeding is for the good of the performance. More here, I talk less information, not detailed, because we have sessions that are paid for, so we try to make it relevant, that some of the information that in the curriculum is not really diluted, or it remains significant for payment. So our sessions for teenagers really in our curriculum there is an addition of a learning material for this program of 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 reconnecting, of reprogramming these emotions that have been made permanent in the body, that they are now controlling this teenager automatically without their control, because they have programmed them for a while. And something you programmed well, it becomes a program of the body, and once it becomes a program of the body, you're no longer control out of it. You're no longer in control of it. That it manifests automatically without you commanding it from the mind. So we are going to have such sessions on ground so that you can improve on our lives and improve on programming our minds so that they can influence our bodies constructively, and so that at the end of the term we have good performance out of downloading what we programmed throughout of the term. Thank you.